We do a really good job of kind of drawing parallels between those two, a marginalized group of people that feels like maybe they have to, a vampire feels like they need to hide themselves in the dark and not see the light of day and not really fit into society and not know where their place is and feel like they don't fit in. And I think a lot of young queer kids have felt like that in their lifetime. So to be able to see it in that way, in that storytelling way.
I mean, it's definitely, it's been pretty incredible. It's been such a learning experience for me as well. But like Natasha said, some of the best moments are when you hear stories about how the show has really helped people, because that's all I want to accomplish as an actor. I want to like put something out there that's going to help people. Healing through art. And I was on Toronto Island one day and a girl came up to me, and I think she was 13 or 14, and she recognized me and she had like scattered away from her friends, and she's like, I just like none of my friends know that I'm out or like I'm not out and nobody knows, and I just like I'm so thankful to you and your show. Like it really is like I have a community of people that I can talk to online because I can't talk to my friends at school about it. And I think that's the really incredible thing is that there's a community within the fan base as well, where they can share and they can talk to each other and they can open up to each other when they feel like they might not be able to do that with their families. It's been a huge part of my own personal journey, and reading Stephanie Beatriz, the actress from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, she just wrote this amazing article, just be so honest and just saying everything that I've always thought. I'm like, how did she write that? Like, that's amazing. Of saying that she was in a pride parade recently on a float, and the mental saboteur in her head was going, you're not gay enough to be here.
Yes, I experience that all the time.
All the time. And I think it's something that, or
the opposite, where if it's like, I do find a man attractive, then I think, oh my gosh, am I betraying my community? And
Yeah. Or from the queer community, hearing a lot of time, well, are you sure you're just not gay?
Yeah.
And I think...
or you're just going to end up with a man. And I think, well, I hope I don't end up with anyone. I hope I have lots of loves in my life.
But I think it is true. It's something that, especially in media, we often see it as bisexuality is often portrayed very exclusively through the male gaze, where it's women hooking up with other women for the viewing pleasure of a man. Where a character, like, it's not part of their story, it's not part of their journey, it's just there for.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think there's a lot.
But I think it sheds such a light on the misrepresentation of queer characters in media, that the fact that people were so starved for accurate and positive representation, I think really speaks volumes to where we were at even 3 years ago. I think media has moved forward. I think we are taking the right steps. I think there's still so much further to go, and I think I'm really thankful that I was able to be a part of a show that had such a positive impact on people. I think it's so imperative and important. I think I've heard it so many times from fans about the importance of seeing a lesbian character on screen where the story isn't a tumultuous coming out story and their queerness is secondary. It's not their defining factor. It's not saying this is what makes me me. It's just a part of me, as my hunger is a part of me. And I, for the first time, am really experiencing on a more personal level the importance of representation. Recently, Janelle Monáe came out with this article that was mind-blowing to me, because she basically said, well, I'm queer and I'm a free-ass motherfucker. I don't know if you have to bleep that out. And she said, I was first identified as bisexual, and then I heard the word pansexual, and I'm open to learning about myself. And the way that she talked about it was not wrapping up her sexuality in a quick little soundbite, because sexuality is such a complex thing for everybody, and it's something that, for myself, I feel like changes on a day-to-day basis and is a sliding scale sometimes. And sometimes I wake up and I'm more attracted to men, and sometimes I wake up and I'm more attracted to women, and it changes, and it's for me it would mean a lot to the fans of our show to be able to have a show about two women in love be the center of a fan choice nomination is a pretty astounding thing, and something that I think should be celebrated and recognized, and I'm so glad and so honored to be the face of that, and so hopefully this one goes out to the fans. It really was just seeing queerness as the norm and just as the accepted fact of the universe of Carmilla, and that it was sort of an after fact, which I think it is for a lot of people in their lives. Like, people don't necessarily wake up and think about their sexuality every day. It's just inherently part of them, and then they go around their day doing daily tasks. And so just seeing queer characters in a more human or vampire setting, and just seeing it as more normalized and a secondary nature to the characters, not the defining quality about them.
The entertainment industry is changing, but not rapidly enough, and we need the voices of the public to prove that diverse stories will have a large and dedicated audience. If we want to see films and shows with inclusive representation both in front of and behind this camera, we need to support those projects. So my ask of you is this: 1, seek out and watch projects made by and starring women, people of color, and LGBTQ people. Signal boost these projects to your network of friends. And I believe we have the power to change the way we tell our stories, and I believe that you, the audience, plays a significant role in that change. Let's get to it. Thank you.
That, started to shape people's perspective of what is marketable too, because that was a big lie that studio heads were saying for a long time, is that, well, this isn't marketable, and that, this won't make money, and I think that's bullshit, and I think I'm hoping that our film starts reaching a broader audience now, and that people are able to see it who maybe have never had or never seen a love story between two women on screen and go, oh, this is just a love story, or this is just a mystery thriller, vampire rom-com, and not separate the two. So.
Sorry, there's an article I read this morning. In Saudi Arabia, women are allowed to drive themselves for the first time ever. Growing up in a bit of a liberal bubble. And recognizing there's still so much further to go with the queer community too. I met someone this weekend who can't take photos this weekend because they're not. And that's heartbreaking to me that someone has to be here amidst this positive, amazing place and feel like they have to hide that from me. I think that's why it's so important and special to have things like this, and I think that people really need to know how special that is, but also how much further there has to go.
It feels great. I feel really grateful to be here representing our show, Carmilla, and just be a positive role model, hopefully, to a lot of people.
Yeah, because this means it's not just your peers that appreciate you. This is the fan.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that's a little more important, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, we have to remember that they're the ones that are ultimately watching the content that we're making. So it's important to listen to them and understand that their voice matters, and if they say that they want to see something, we should probably be listening to them. And Stephanie Beatriz from Brooklyn Nine-Nine recently also came out with an article about being bisexuality and the complex that she's had about that, and feeling as though she doesn't have a place in the queer community, or that her cisgender male partner won't be accepted because she's in a hetero passing relationship. And these are all things that I think so many people who land somewhere on the spectrum feel, and it can feel scary to talk about because it's not wrapped up nicely in a bow, and it's not, you can't make a headline out of it. And I think for the first time, I read those two articles, and it was like, I've been feeling so much anxiety about that in my life for the past, since I was a kid, and it was like this breath of air just went through my body. I was like, someone finally said it. Oh, thank goodness. It's like, I can say it now. That's how I felt, that these women were so brave and talking about that I think that's the next. So I'm feeling it personally for the first time, the importance of it. the friendship between Cassie and Mackenzie, the platonic relationship that they have, and what it's like to not even just come out, but just reveal who you really are as a person to a friend, which is a scary thing to do sometimes. And the repercussions of that, and how you can grow together with a friend despite differences and despite like things going in a different direction of your relationship.
Really great. I'm really proud to be here, you know, representing a show that does so much for the LGBTQ community. I think that's really what fans have been looking for, is positive representation for a long time. And so it means a lot to be here accepting this award, and I hope that people all over the world who voted can see this and go, hey, maybe I'm not as much of an outsider, and maybe it's possible as well for me.
That's got to feel really good to be able to even think to impact people in that way.
Yeah, it's meant a lot to us through the whole run of the series and the film as well. You know, Natasha Nootvanlis, my co-star, and I have been lucky enough to do a few fan events now and actually get to meet fans face to face and hear their stories of what the show has meant to them, and it's really special.
To be fair, though, I usually only give that number to guys because, one, they're usually the only ones that hit on me, and two, I'm not into them.
So you know, I have no idea what I'm doing. Honestly, neither do I. Cool.
Do you remember what I said to you when you told me you were a lesbian?
Thank God you finally said it.
After that.
You better find a girl who deserves you.
Yes! That! And this might be so shocking to you, but Murderous Vampire wasn't exactly what I had in mind!
Dad, seriously, are you more concerned with the evil university or my love life?
Is there a difference?
Coping with past mistakes and being all mature and healthy with my relationships.
Mature and healthy? Really? That's what you're gonna call what's happening right now?
I'm not saying that there haven't been slips.
Oh, okay.
Office, furniture, related slips. That's right. We have plans and goals. Color-coded chart, none of which feature some mystery from your past stealing the life that you earned. That isn't the part that matters. This. Here. Right now. This is what matters. And I love you.
I love you too.